Hi, thanks so much for tuning in to Mom Boss Chronicles. My name is Jen.
This is Sue. And this is Danielle.
We are three moms that work together in real estate and are good friends, and here to talk to you about fun topics, the good, the bad, the ugly, of mom struggles, real estate, and other fun stuff. So make sure to subscribe to listen to more.
Welcome everybody to this week's episode where we will be discussing single mom life. We will focus our efforts on speaking with Danielle first, discussing, being a single mom, share some of your anecdotes, your story.
Absolutely.
Thank God for Dylan. This little man. I feel like I have to say part of his greatness is because you've been his mainstay,
Thank you.
Tell us about the journey.
Yeah, so, I want to say 27 when I got pregnant with him. My math could be wrong.
You're like, what year was it?
Yeah, how old am I? And I was in a relationship it was someone I was a friend with, and, it was a short relationship. I got pregnant, and I just realized that the relationship was not for me, and I did not, while this might sound bad or it's something people don't want to say, I wasn't going to stay in the relationship just because I was having a baby
I
with
think
him.
That's so admirable because how many people stay in relationships just because the child, and then everyone's miserable.
Exactly.
Yes. Right.
We all would have been miserable, even though he wanted to be sorry, Sue, kicking you, playing footsie. Mm-hmm. Even though he wanted to be in a relationship with me, he would have been miserable too because I would not have been happy. Yeah, so I was...
So were you, when you were pregnant, were you like, oh my God, what?
At first, I always wanted to be a mom. So I was like, it wasn't even a question. I was having this baby.
Yeah.
But as time went along, I was like, oh my God, why am I doing this? I should not have...
scared.
Yeah, I was like, I should not have done this. This is a bad idea. Because I was just like, what am I going to do? At the time, I was just still bartending and just kind of living my 20s life. Yeah. And I was actually living with my brother and his wife. They had this house in Middletown was a mother-daughter, so they had a full apartment attached to their house.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I use air quotes. I rented it out from them. It was, I paid them rent, but it was very low, so it was nice. I owe them still for that. We had a lot of fun though, but thank God for them. They were really amazing. So it was shortly after I found out I was pregnant that I, ended the relationship with him. I was like, maybe it's just pregnancy hormones, but I don't think so. Yeah. And we'll see what happens kind of thing. And it was just, it was done. So I had Dylan. He was born in September. And, as we talked about on our postpartum episode, it was a really hard journey. And I was home with him for a few months. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was sad.
And 24/7 all alone.
Yeah.
Single mom with the baby. That's hard.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, thank God, for my family and my brother and my sister-in-law, having them there. They helped me so much with him, and even just emotional support. They're amazing. He was 3-4 months old. I remember it was New Year's Day. I was hungover because I had drank with my sister the night before. I remember this so clearly. My brother came into the living room and he's like, you have to do, you have to figure it out. And he at the time was selling his house, decided he wanted to sell this house in Middletown, which was, I was freaking out about that too. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Yeah. But so the realtor he sold his house with was looking to expand his team. And he's like, he, said he'd meet with you. And
so did you even think about real estate before?
Never.
I love it. Your brother was like, by the way, you should do this.
He was like, you need to do this. And
I was what were you doing? So after Dylan was born, were you working or?
Nothing. I didn't want to work at the time because I wanted to stay home with him. Right. I was like, what am I going to do? And I didn't trust anyone other than my family.
Yeah.
And so I was just living, thankfully I have always been pretty good with money, and I had a lot of money saved, so I just was living off of that at the time. But
not
it was,
sure what your next step was.
But it was time to figure it out, and I did not want to go back to a bar or my degree wouldn't get me a job that I would make decent money.
You were family services, right?
Yeah, social work. So it's like, what am I going to do? Make $15 an hour? Mm-hmm. Work 80 hours a week, you know? It was crazy. So I remember I was sitting there crying and I'm like, I don't want to do this. How am I going to do this? It's not a salary job. Like, how am I going to make money? You know, it was just like a nightmare for me.
Yeah,
so,
like that thought scared you.
Yeah, it scared me. But I thought, hey, I have no other choice, so let me meet with this guy, and I did.
That's awesome. And you got your license then?
I got my license.
What were you doing, like nights or weekends?
So I met him in January, and I was actually working with him, like not selling real estate, but like shadowing him for months before I got my license. When the course came up, obviously, I took the test, got my license, and just went from there. I hired a babysitter who was my sister's ex-husband's aunt, and she was amazing. So she watched Dylan twice a week, and then my sister-in-law watched Dylan twice a week.
That's awesome. So you can go to school and work.
Yeah. So I would go into the office every morning at like 8:15. I was there, and I'd be there for like 4 hours, just shadowing and learning the ropes, and then I would go on showings like nights, weekends, whatever it was, and my family helped me so much. I don't know how I would have done any of this without them. Yeah, because I was so like anti daycare at the time, but I ended up putting him in daycare when he was 1, and it was great, and it afforded me the opportunity to
keep working.
Yeah, and have it be a full-time job.
Scaling.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Money to make money, right?
Yes, exactly. So it was the right move. And then in terms of my career, it took off from there, and it all worked out,
So
thankfully.
were you getting confident then as a mom, like a single mom? Like then you're starting to make money, so was that giving you the confidence?
I think that the career change totally
That's awesome.
changed things for me. And earlier on I started going to the postpartum group and everything. So everything was kind of falling into place around that time.
You were finding your groove as a mom.
Yeah. And then I eventually just got an apartment for me and Dylan.
I remember that, and that was a huge milestone.
Yeah, it was huge, because I was just so nervous to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it was your place, just you two.
Hopefully, hopefully you felt proud of yourself, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was just me and him, and he was such a good baby. He didn't sleep. The sleep was tough, but I say the universe just knew I couldn't, if he was a cranky baby, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. He was amazing. He was such a good baby. He was so good in the car. I took him everywhere. I would take him on showings sometimes. I mean, I have so many clients that know him. And
I love it.
Yeah, he was just like,
I think that's why he's so easygoing today, though, too. Like, I mean, obviously it's part of his nature, but like you exposed him early on to life. Like,
yes, totally.
He was like your best sidekick.
Yes, he's such a sweet boy. He really is. So we moved into this apartment, and How
old was Dylan at the time when you guys moved in?
This was in, I want to say, March. He turned 1 in September. So what is
1.5 about?
He was
like a couple
it
months
wasn't
old.
even, wait.
5 months? 6 months?
I can't even, no, you're right. He was a little over 1.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think. I can't remember. He was a little over 1, yeah. And then I had dated, I'd gone on like 1 date before this. I kind of like Sue had mentioned in our other episode.
Online?
I downloaded Bumble.
An app? Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'll have someone take me out to dinner. I didn't have any expectations. I wasn't necessarily looking for a relationship or anything. So I went on a date with this guy, and he was awesome. It didn't end up working out because I just don't think he was really okay with me having a kid, really, and sharing my attention. That's honestly, that is what he told me. Whatever. Moving on. But
at least you put yourself out there. That's amazing.
Definitely.
Did it feel good to do that?
Yes.
To take that step?
Dylan, and he wasn't even a year. He was like 8-9 months old, and I wasn't even expecting that at the time. So, and I was like, let's shelf this. So I deleted the app, and then it was probably around the time that we moved into the apartment, maybe over the summer. I downloaded the app again and just, chatting with people. And then I met Mike
through the app.
Through Bumble. This was July of 2017. So Dylan was almost 2.
Wow.
Yeah. And we met and we hit it off. And
I think, was it helpful that he was a dad too? And
yeah, so Mike has 2 boys. At the time, I want to say they were 7 and 9, something like that.
So I guess he could relate, right? He was a dad.
Yes,
you were a mom.
He was divorced 2-3 years at the time.
Yeah.
He had kids very young, so, you know, he was just kind of getting back into the dating scene too. And we just hit it off. He kind of, awesome. I always joke and say, you sort of came over and never left. And it's true. I mean, a year later, we moved in together. Wow. We got an apartment. And then, so that was 2018. And then a year after that, we bought our house together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for all the single moms out there, there is hope.
Yes. Yeah.
You found your love.
I did. Yeah. And I mean, you know, Jen was here through the early times. We had, you know, our ups and our downs. And
what relationship doesn't?
Yeah. And kind of the big thing was I always knew that I wanted to have another baby.
Yeah.
Like,
when you were still young.
Yeah. We both were. I mean, he's only a year older than me. But he did start, like, he had his first when he was 20. So,
wow.
Yeah. So he kind of thought he was done. You know, his kids were a little older, and I don't blame him.
And you
know?
had one, so that gives 3 between you.
Yes. It was a lot. And I mean, who can afford 4 kids?
I know.
But I know, right? But that was like a non-negotiable for me. So, and he would kind of go back and forth. So we would go back and forth between, all right, we're breaking up. No, we're staying together. Right? It was so dramatic for so long.
Oh, I can imagine. But you know what? It just shows that like that was important to you and you stuck your ground on it.
Yeah.
Because you have an amazing daughter.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah.
And he always said, you know, I want one. He was just afraid,
of
you know,
course.
Because obviously he
scary.
was divorced. And and I had a child with someone else and that didn't work. So it was, you know, it definitely was, it was kind
of
wasn't
an easy decision.
Yeah, for sure. And that's normal. But we did decide together that we did want to have another baby. You know, the time came, we decided, all right, we're going to try. And a month later, I was pregnant.
That's awesome.
We, you know, thank God we were very lucky. And we now have a 2-year-old. She's wild child, but our family is complete.
That's awesome. 4 kids is good.
It's a lot. But it's, I mean, to focus sort of on the single mom aspect, while I do have a husband and we do have this family and this home and everything, and he is, and always, you know, he has been amazing with Dylan. I mean, he's been in his life since he was
Dylan really
right.
I know. Does Dylan have any memories without it? Like, right?
No, he doesn't remember a time. I asked him recently if he remembers a time before Mike, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, Dylan's dad is in his life. You know, he sees him a couple times a week.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, he has his relationship with him.
Yeah.
But even though I have Mike, my point was I'm still the sole, you know, person for Dylan
at home, especially. Like the decision maker.
Yeah, I make all the decisions. I kind of like to be the main. I am the main disciplinarian, but Mike will too. But little things. Where is he going to go to camp? Where's he? I just make these decisions.
The activities. What's
and
I'm sure talking to the teachers and homework and
absolutely. I do everything. But I will say, you know, if I have to work at night or whatever, Mike is always there. He watches Dylan.
Right.
You know, that's, I would say I started doing that when Dylan was like 3 because I didn't want to put that on him when we first started dating. You know, I didn't want to
wait a little bit.
Yeah. Now I got a babysitter.
Yeah, right.
A living babysitter. But so that part, of course, is obviously super helpful. I mean, he's just home with the kids. You know, but I do the same for his kids.
Totally.
You know,
because you're teamwork now.
Yeah, his son wants to go to his friend's house and Mike's not home. I bring him, whatever. You know, that's just, there's no questions asked anymore. Obviously, we've been together for 6 years. But there is that aspect of the single mom still when it comes to Dylan.
Feel it.
And that's fine. And I'm fine with it. And it's just different than how I parent with June. You know, with June, it's like, oh, Mike, what do you think about, you know, what should we do with this or with that? You know, it's completely different.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And to also really be raising this child with someone and watching their interactions and
somebody that you live with. I know
someone that I love. And it's special to watch that. That's the huge.
So you didn't have that.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I didn't have a child with someone I love. That's to not have that experience. It's so different.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And to experience a pregnancy with someone I love and
getting the room ready.
And have him hold my belly and for the kicks and setting up the nursery and really being there for me during the birth and wanting him there for me. And he was amazing with that. And it really was so different. So
I give you so much credit, though, because for doing that, like, on your own, though, with Dylan and not having that kind of same support and being younger.
Yes,
you know, your mentality. I mean, I think you're an old soul and, like, you're
That's
kind of
so
a grandma.
funny. My mom always said that to me. I'm an old soul.
You are an old soul. But, you know, like, the fact that you were so devoted to Dylan, you know, and you gave him everything, too. Like, he didn't, just because maybe that his dad wasn't, like, it wasn't the same. Like, you upped your ante more to make sure that he had that same love and support and everything too. Like, he's such a boy.
I know. And not that I have favorites at all. It's a different kind of love. Totally. I'm sure you know, but there's just something about him and our bond, our connection.
Well, I mean, you two, it was you against the world, you two, for a while there.
He's like ride or die.
Totally.
Yeah, and like while you're making cold calls, he was there with you.
Nursing him while making calls.
Would you say he was like your muse, right? Like,
it was like, you need to create this life for him. And to be able to give him whatever he wants, probably to a fault, to be honest. But
it's okay.
Just to make sure.
Okay. You can't spoil or shower enough love on your kids. You know?
I never want him to want for anything.
That's awesome.
And
just feel love. And,
and he does. He does. He's amazing. And my children are just so different. He's this... he's this very kind, sweet soul, and not that June isn't. She is, but she's a tough cookie. She's more like me.
Well, she's like, she's scrappy.
Yes,
you know? And then, but she's also in a house with boys.
So
she's got to hold her own. You know?
But I love that about her.
Yeah,
she's gonna be a badass.
Right.
Absolutely.
She's set.
Yeah.
So, do you have any lessons for, like, I guess, or things that you would want to say to other single moms who are going through it?
I think just working hard and that you can do it. It's not impossible.
I'm sure it was scary, right? Like there are moments where,
and you can want more for yourself and for your child, and you can make it happen. You don't have to settle for anything less than whatever the life is that you want. You know, that really would be my suggestion.
Have you met other single moms, like as friends, I guess?
I'm trying to think. There are a couple. There was one or two in the postpartum group.
That's cool. And did that help to be around?
Yeah, definitely.
Them too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of them was a nurse.
That's awesome.
Actually, no, there was two. Yeah, two of them were a nurse. One of them she was a nurse but didn't have her RN.
Okay.
I forget exactly. But she just a couple weeks ago, I still talk to her. She just graduated and got her RN.
That's
and
awesome.
she moved to Florida. She has her mom, her family out there, and she's a single mom still, and she is so badass. Christina, I love her.
I love it.
And
she's making big moves still.
Yeah, she's an RN now. And
that's awesome.
She went to school and did it all, worked and did it all with raising a little boy, same age as Dylan. So you can do it, and don't let those voices create excuses for yourself. You know, get after it.
What were the biggest challenges? Would it be like childcare or just being main parent 24/7?
Yeah, both totally. And finding time for myself. I still struggle with that.
Oh, I know you do. Yes.
I'm always like, I can't. My kids, you know. I
know that I know you love being a mom, which is so beautiful. Like I know that, you know, that's a role that you are so amazing at. But
Thank you.
But I know what you mean. It's hard for you to like then be like selfish and be like, I want this time for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely hard for me to let go control and
no way.
The guilt. Just a little. But it's been quite the journey.
Did you feel like, because I'm a single mom too, I was obviously a different story, right? Different reason why. So I was angry in the beginning. Like, I don't want to I was angry, but I feel like as time goes on, you know, I'm adapting more. Like, we become adapt. Like, we're human beings. We adapt, right?
It's your life.
And like, the more time that has gone by, like, you fall into like a groove, I guess, you know, like I feel like
100%.
we're in like such a good groove now. It's like there were some days where I'd be like, I don't want to fucking give another bath. I don't want to do
I
dinner
know.
again.
I want to be off tonight.
I don't want to do laundry or like
somebody
all
else wake up with the kid.
Like
Yeah.
it's just, but like you adapt. So like that's something I think I would share too. Is like if you
Yes.
find yourself newly single mom, you know, it's going to be a journey without a doubt. But like if you just continue, keep at it, keep your mind right, like you become more adaptable to it and it becomes okay. And, you know, I think the other thing, and this may sound fucked up, but like, you know, like you fight with your spouse sometimes over parenting styles. And a lot of times I think to myself, well, at least I'm not fighting with Mike right now, like about something
so
to do with the
true.
baby.
Like I made the
I
decision
have no
and
one to
it's
be
done.
mad at right
Yeah.
now. Like, so,
It's so
you
true.
know,
You just
you
get
know,
to do things your own way.
Yeah.
And
because we're not control freaks or anything. But
yeah.
but like I would think about things. I think about things like that, you know, and like, oh, like we're doing it my way, and it seems to be working. I have a good kid, so
It's-
you know, I'm no one to be angry at that they didn't do the dishes or the laundry, like because I'm fucking doing it all anyway.
Right.
But,
It's a good, you have no one to be resentful
Right.
towards
Yeah,
because
kind of.
you have to do it because it won't get done otherwise. It's so true. It's such a good point. Yeah. Like if Mike isn't home, we both have mics. But if he's not home, he's working late or whatever, just I have to do it because I have to do it.
Right.
I can't be mad at him because he's not there, you know? And for you, I mean, our stories are so different. I obviously knew I was going to be a single mom. You, unfortunately, didn't. So that was probably such a, I mean, we talked about this.
You were
but
thrown into it.
you were thrown into it, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely why I was so angry in the beginning.
Right.
You know, it's such, you know, it wasn't the life that I chose or expected, but you know, like,
But you're totally
but
in,
we're cool.
Yeah.
Like it's good. You know,
Yeah.
we made it work, and you know, I feel bad. You know, like listen. It's different because at least Dylan sees his dad, right? And so I
Right.
appreciate that he gets to see his
Yes.
dad. My heart breaks because
Yes.
Michael doesn't get to see his dad. So that's probably like the one area that
That's
I still
different.
feel
Totally.
very upset about.
Yes.
And I feel like it's unfair for him, you know, but thankfully he has like other good male figures in
Yes.
his life, and you know, uncles and friends of Mike's, and you know, Paul's around too now, like
Yeah.
so he has good male figures in his life. You know, it's definitely a badge of honor, I think. Like I think we have to give ourselves a lot of credit. Like it's not easy to be a parent in general, and then to do it on your own,
Especially
really,
24/7. I mean, I think of you guys like you have to wake up and go to bed. When Gary goes away for the weekend, I want to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Like,
And like I don't know about like Dylan, but Michael shot out of a cannon in the morning. He's like, Mom,
Oh,
hey,
my
Mom, look at
son
this.
is an
Mom,
early bird,
imagine
too.
it. You
Yes.
like,
He's so funny. I feel like you have such an amazing support system. Like the fact that you can go away for a few days and your friends will take him is so incredible.
No, I'm so lucky.
That's really
and especially because, like
amazing.
you were saying too, like there is no weekend parent.
no.
Yeah.
That's not like you could be like, okay, every other weekend I'm gonna do that.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
it's
Right.
no, it's 24/7.
That was like a
Yeah.
big struggle to like that, right? Is like I do have supportive friends and I have friends that help, but like I also going back to like I don't want to like overuse my
Yes,
friends'
yeah.
kindness as well, and like I'm sure I know for a fact my friends will do anything I ask for them because they're just that amazing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I want to be thoughtful about other people's time too. And like, if I sat down and added up how much fucking money I have spent on babysitters,
Oh, I
my
can imagine.
but like,
But
but
yeah.
like, yeah.
But that money spent, what you say, is well spent because
It's
it
good
gave
money
you
well
that like time to decompress,
yeah.
right? Because as
like,
a single mom,
I'm
you need,
and a single mom, and I'm social. Like,
Yeah.
I need to.
you want, yeah. Otherwise, I'm sure you'd be in the house depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frustrated.
I can't.
Yeah.
Right. And a frustrated mommy is not a good mommy
No.
for anybody. Because, like, I've probably said this before, maybe even on this podcast, the more stuff I do for me, and I had to get over that feeling selfish
Yeah.
aspect of it. But the more stuff I do for me, I feel like the
better
better
you
mom
show
I
up,
am.
right?
Yeah, I'm a
Totally.
happier mom, you know? And, like, I don't want to be a curmudgeon with my kid. I don't want to be like in a mood, or, you know, like I just feel like. And
What's the point to say you're there if you're there and you're mean
you're really
or not present?
Yeah, like, and you know, and then you feel resentful towards your kid, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and everyone's different, right? Like the things that make people tick are different. So for me, it's like I'm social. I like to go out to dinners with friends. I like to spend time with friends. Like I like to go. Like I went to a conference, you know, like so it's a little bit of social. It's work stuff, and you know, I think that helps. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
especially if you're just the primary sole parent,
Right.
Yeah.
too, you know?
Totally.
And like, you know, my heart goes out to the single parents, like widows, you know, that
Yeah.
are really doing it on their own. And I hope you have a good support
Yeah,
system,
people
that
people who don't have the support
And that's
system.
gonna be hard,
right?
not having that village
Yeah.
to rely on. As a
Yeah.
single mom, I can imagine not to have somebody be like, I need a break.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because like growing up, I mean, my mom and I were very, very close, and you know, when she passed away, obviously I'm very sad about it. Like I'll always be sad about that. But I felt like, you know what, my mom equipped me with all the things that I kind of need to know in life, and like I'm okay. But like once Mike died, and like being the single parent to Michael, I was like, I just want my
You
mom.
want your mom.
I
It's
know.
like when you're sick, you want your mom.
Yeah,
Mommy.
seriously.
Yeah, no matter how
I
old
feel
you
like I
are.
haven't even been sick in the past 3 years because it's like, when the fuck am I gonna
Have time, right?
time
Yeah.
to be sick? You know?
It's so true. I don't know what I would do without my mom.
Yeah.
Aw.
She helps me so much.
Yeah,
and
you have an amazing mother.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, from watching my kids to just any
To loving
very
them so
supportive.
much.
She's so
Yeah.
supportive.
She really is, and she loves my kids so much, and she's always there.
Aw.
So I'm very sorry. for
Whether
you.
and it's
That's so
amazing. So whether you have friends or a parent,
Yeah.
like lean on the people who
Yes.
love you because
Totally.
they want to see you happy.
They
and
do.
well.
And
Yeah.
like genuinely, if your friends are offering help, they're not going to offer it
Yeah.
if
If they
can't
didn't wanna
help
do
you
it,
and
yeah.
want to, like, you know, help you out, like, because. And I think too, like for yourself probably too, like you're in it, right? And it's so hard to step outside of yourself sometimes and like see what your friends see or see what your family sees, and they see this like mother, this beacon of light, you know, doing the damn thing for their kids, when you're just in it, like you're going through the motions, but they're like, I need to help this person, but you don't know how to ask for help or sometimes accept help because you're just like, I need to do this, you know, like I'm
Right.
super mom or you know, so like if you're a single parent out there and your friends or family are asking if you need help, just take the damn help.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like going to take a walk by yourself or
Yeah.
get your nails done or whatever it is that makes you happy or gives you a moment of like solace that you're not hearing the word mom 75,000
gosh.
times
Yeah.
or whatever, like do it.
I know, because being a mom, obviously, even with a partner, is hard. And being a single mom adds another layer of hard.
Like raising kids
Yeah.
is not easy. There's
Yeah.
some things where I'm like, you guys didn't fucking tell me this. Like, I didn't know I was gonna be such an actor too. Like,
Right. And even, I mean, as a married mother, even for both of us to find the time to do things for ourselves, it's so hard. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, you touched on how it makes you a better mother to take time for yourself. And it's so true. And neither me or my husband really have too much time because of work. Really, work is like, you know, and he works so much and so hard, and
you guys are kind of
is-
opposite because he's working during the week, you work weekends. I know.
Yeah, he works during the day, and the juggle. So
Right.
it's he comes home, I leave,
You have to run
and
out, yeah.
so it's to really find that time is difficult.
yeah. Well, maybe like you guys can try to implement at least like once a month a date night or something
Yeah,
like that.
yes,
you know?
we've actually been. His mom's been coming a lot on Sundays.
Oh, that's
She'll
awesome.
just call randomly and say, "Hey, you want to
That's
come
awesome.
over?" The past couple weeks, and she has, and it's been amazing. And we'll go and get dinner, and you can totally see the difference in your relationship
Yes.
when you take time for each other, because before that, honestly, we hadn't gone out in like 6 months. And
Aw.
I guess I feel like I'm always asking my mom to come babysit for me to work or whatever, so I feel bad having her come back
For fun,
so I can
yeah.
go out for fun,
Yeah.
even though she wouldn't care. But
Yeah.
you know, you
And it's different, I feel like, to have a conversation with somebody outside of the house versus in. Because when you're in the house,
Yeah.
there's chaos happening all around you.
totally.
But when you get to go
You can't
out.
even get a thought out.
Yeah.
Like, usually with the kids around.
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Yeah, but see, that's a prime example. Once you start
Totally.
investing in
Yeah.
yourself or your relationship, like you guys are the foundation at the end of the day.
So
Yeah.
You know? So like that has to take precedence and it's important. You know?
absolutely. Putting yourself and your relationship first.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a mom friend saying that years ago, my husband comes first because that's the most important.
Right.
I thought she was crazy.
I know, it's not funny, but when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
It makes the
Yeah.
ship go,
Yes.
you know?
You have to put the air mask on you first.
Yes,
discipline,
exactly.
Before you can do it
Yes.
to anybody else,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I used to say this to Mike: if mom's not happy, nobody's happy. You know?
So true.
So right. It's so
Happy
true.
wife, happy life.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
and then happy family, you know, happy kids and all that stuff too. But I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I think
Same
you
here.
both are such amazing stories, right? Like a single mom, young age, you know, single mom, widow, who've come through and have found love again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and
careers.
and careers and we have both really good kids. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
Yeah,
you know,
amazing children.
right.
Yeah.
So like
To-
maybe if there was ever a stigma in the past, like single
Yes.
kid, like kids of single parents, you know, are bad or whatever. Like no,
You know,
not necessarily.
I'm glad you brought that up actually, because so many people stay together or would, in my position, would
My
have.
parents did that.
Yeah, same with mine.
When it's more damage, right?
Yes,
I know what you mean.
or would have
What's-
stayed in my position with this person that I didn't love just because of
They want to be a
him.
household of a mom and a
Yeah,
dad and kids.
yeah,
When
like-
that household is more toxic than just being a
Right.
single parent.
Yeah, and he doesn't know any different.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I didn't put him through a divorce or any, you know,
Yeah.
he's just this happy kid.
Aw,
and
yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect. And
No,
of course,
I
you know,
mean,
I'm sure
right.
maybe it will bother him down the road that his parents
But I
aren't
feel
together,
like
but it doesn't now.
But you're both so in tune with your children, like, you know, that you said, you know, Michael is in therapy, and I feel like you're so in tune with your son, like you will
Yeah.
know if they need something, like I'm here to help you work on it.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I
amazing.
think it's healthy. I think in the future, Dylan will probably look back and recognize, you know, what love is. Like,
Yeah.
he's not going to think like, I mean, I grew up in a household with fighting all the time. So I thought that that's what like love was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so like a lot of my relationships early on in life were
Right.
like
That-
toxic and
Yeah.
tumultuous because I thought that was normal, you know, but Dylan's growing up in a household where there's love and, you know, and it's okay to maybe not be with the person you were before because it didn't
Right.
work out.
Yes.
Like he's like, hopefully, like that's how he's gonna grow up, knowing that
Totally.
like it's
Yeah.
okay. You
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
Definitely. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Obviously, if you guys have any comments, questions, please let us know. Make sure to like and subscribe and reach out to us. Where can they find you both?
I am at Danielle_Levine on Instagram.
And Susan sells the Shore NJ.
Awesome. Thanks so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
See you next week. Bye.